At the business card, and you'll notice on one side is my ugly mug, right? With longer hair. I cut my hair off Saturday. But that's not the point. If you got my card, turn it over to the back. On the back are some shapes in the right-hand side of the card. You see the shapes? There's a cake at the bottom. Right above that is a digital dog. Do you see the digital dog? Above the digital dog is a laser printer. Do you see the laser printer? And the arrow. Who sees the arrow? Everybody see the arrow? What's that last shape at the very top? What is that?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. That's good. That's good. Oklahoma. A school desk. Who sees the fly?
What?
Lisa sees the fly. You see the fly. Who sees the fly? Lisa sees the fly. Who sees the fly?
Fly?
There's a fly right there. It says fly. Do you see it? Fly. Fly.
Spell that. F-L-Y?
F-L-Y. Fly. It says fly right there. Fly. Do you see the fly? It says fly. 2 people see the fly. 3 people see the fly. Turn the card. 4 people see the card. 5 people see the 6 see the fly. 7 see the fly. 8 see the fly. Turn the card. You see the fly? She sees the fly. We're seeing flies all over the place. Do you see the fly? Dick says he likes Oklahoma better. Who doesn't see the fly? Okay, for those of you who don't see the fly, we will talk to you afterwards. And the reason why is there's a reason why you don't see the fly. Because you have been trained to not see the fly. Because when you look at it, you were taught to read black letters on a white background. And those are white letters on a white background. And those of you who don't see the fly are saying, he is smoking dope. I don't know what he's talking about. But there's a fly there. Okay? Now that's called a scotoma, or a blind spot. And so I want to talk to you about scotomas or blind spots today. Recently I had the chance to go to Disneyland. And while I was in Disneyland, we were walking down the streets of Toontown. And we came around the corner, and there in Toontown were 3 lines of parents, 3 distinct lines. And I thought, what are these parents doing? And that's when we walked over and found the princesses. There was Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella, each in their attire, each impeccably beautiful, each with their gowns, each with impeccable hair, and each one on cue would pull the girl up, the little girl, and she would get down at their level, and in hushed tones, they would say, who knows? But the child is enraptured in this conversation. And on cue, they would stand up, spin the girl around. And I can't do it. They have this thing with their hands. So they would hold their hand like Cinderella and pull the dress out. And the girl would turn and mom would be there on cue and take their picture. And then she'd shove the child off. And the next one would come up, mesmerized. And we watched it. And my wife said, they don't blink. And I said, I'm sorry, they don't blink. I said, what are you talking about? She said, watch them, they do not blink. So we looked at these princesses, and sure enough, they were trained not only how to hold their hands like Cinderella, they were trained how to act, how to sign autographs like Cinderella, but when it came time for the photograph, they were trained to not blink. And you say, Well, so what? What's that got to do with me? Well, it has a lot to do with you, because if you're in here today, chances are you're in business. And what you really want is you want more sales, better profits, lower cost of getting new business, satisfied customers, happier, more pleasant environment in building your business. You want those things. And this blinking is at the core of that. What? Why can't you see the white letters on the white background? And what's that got to do with your business? So let's talk about this for a second. Some of you have heard this before because some of you follow me around. That could be a bad thing. Remember when your parents walked to school 5 miles in the snow, uphill, both ways, naked? Okay, well those days, during those days, the economy of this country was geared around commodities. So you bought things, or you dug things out of the ground and you sold them. You gathered the eggs, you took those to market, and you traded those in for shoes, which you traded for bread, and everything was a commodity. And the analogy I like is that when you make a birthday cake in that world, you have the raw ingredients out in the backyard as you go milk Bessie. And the birthday cake in that world is 10 cents. Well, somebody said, we're busy. We don't have time to deal with that. So what happened is somebody said, hey, let's take the commodities and let's package those. So if we package or manufacture goods, so this is about 1905. Well, this is about 1955. And in the packaged manufacturing world, you take those commodities and package them, and the same cake now is $1. Thank you, Betty Crocker, because I don't have time to make a cake from scratch. Well, things get busy. And that 10-cent birthday cake, which is now $1, now we find ourselves about 1995. And that same cake, we stop at Giant Eagle on the way home, and the same cake is $10. 20. She says 20. Because today, we're in a service-based economy. Or are we? Because the price of goods goes up by a factor of 10. Well, today, the birthday cake is a $100 birthday cake. $100. And what happens is, you go to Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza, you pay $100, the cake is free. Because today, you are demanding an experience. Okay? And so you look at this, coffee beans, Folgers, Starbucks, Sidewalk Cafe, Paris. That's an experience. Vanilla ice cream, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. 31 flavors, 1,000 flavors, Cold Stone Creamery. And what happens is, every business is going through this change. Every business, every business. And you need to be aware that this change may catch you off guard. How much? $1. Chocolate. How much more complex can you get than chocolate? I was recently with a friend, and he said, "Oh, we got to stop here. You got to get some of this guy's chocolate." So So I talk about chocolate sometimes. Here we've got chocolate. This bar is how much at Walmart? 75 cents. So my friend Mitchell Kordell Norton says, oh, you got to taste this chocolate. So he gets this chocolate. We open it, same size. In fact, the weight, this one is actually 3/4 of an ounce, 1/4 of an ounce heavier. So he hands me the chocolate and says, you got to taste this chocolate. It's awesome. So I eat this chocolate and I turn over the package. See the red dot? $8.95. It better be pretty good chocolate. So I said to him, we got to go see this chocolate factory. Because now you've taken something that is a packaged good, and it better be better than service. And so you go to the factory for a mono chocolate. So we go to the factory, and there I meet the owner of the business. And we get out his chocolates. So he goes to Papua New Guinea, Venezuela, Madagascar. And what he does is he goes, gets in a boat, drives down the coast, I guess you boat down the coast, to some secluded village in the mountains that nobody goes to, and he buys all the beans. And he makes custom chocolate bars that people line up for. My friend Mitch says, do you have such and such? And the guy at the store says, I might have some. He said, I bought all of them. I want the rest. She came back, she says, I only have one case. I'll take them. Mitch buys $300 worth of chocolate bars. I got one. Right? Chocolate. Chocolate. So you ask yourself, how do you make chocolate an experience? This is a commodity, right? How many of you have ever been here? The M&M store. So you go to Times Square. You go to the M&M store. You get in line to go in the store. So you can stand in the line as everybody shuffles ahead to get on the escalator to go upstairs, half hour to get upstairs in front of the bins of M&Ms, where you can now take that 50-cent bag of M&Ms and you can buy it for $5 to take it home, because that's an experience. Go to Times Square and get M&Ms. You see what's happening? And more importantly, when you talk about this stuff, you have to talk about what is the engagement.